My company, we do consumer research, and I've been doing consumer research for many, many, many years. And first, I want to say that when I first started my career about 30 years ago, we have been here before. When I started my career, it was sort of the age of better food through chemistry. It was the days of Cool Whip and Tang and Velveeta and all of these kinds of things that were going on in terms of food science and how we could make different foods. The first IFT event that I went to was back in 1979. There was not a single article of real food on the floor of the IFT. There were artificial cherries, but there were no cherries or cherry juice. We went to the IFT the following year with a booth, and we gave out organic Granny Smith apples to people. We had people standing in line around the convention floor waiting to get these apples. It was the only real food, real ingredient on the floor at IFT. Now we go and we see whole oats and organic this, and nuts, and all these kinds of other foods. We have been here before. Consumers have been pulling us back from this better food through chemistry path over and over and over again. Clean labels is a consumer term. It came out of the natural foods industry. It is sort of marrying the idea of safety and health in terms of the ingredients that are used in the foods and the beverages that we buy and that we use. Now, we can talk about, well, they don't understand the science and that this is really safe, and I appreciate a lot of what Tony had to say. But in the end, the consumer perception is the reality of the marketplace that we need to deal with. And that marketplace is very different today than it was even 5 years ago. Because what we're seeing happen today is that the consumer has become the voice, not the audience. And through all of the social media and all the other ways that they can connect, the way that the world has gotten smaller. When moms here in the United States learn that Kraft doesn't use that orange coloring in their macaroni and cheese in Europe, well, then why are they using it here in the United States? And they get together and they start to affect change. My daughter just got her degree, her doctorate degree from the University of Oregon in communications and social justice. And very much of what she's talking about and what they're looking at is how consumers are actually almost becoming their own NGOs in the way that they gather together and they can affect change. And so we need to be very aware of that the consumer is perhaps more the voice today than the audience. Now, yesterday, Leslie was talking a lot about how do we look at clean foods and how do we think about in terms of what we need to do in approaching clean foods. And I think that one of the issues was, as I was looking at my topic for today, and my topic for today, by the way, is how stores are using private label brands to enter this clean food category, is that most of them are not having to mimic foods that are already on the market. They're sort of starting from that blank piece of paper that Leslie talked about yesterday. And so it was a lot of fun for me to look at what are the different retailers doing in response to their particular shoppers' interests and concerns with respect to clean labels. Now, I do consumer research. We do a big national study every year. It's a nationally projectable study, almost 5,000 people. Where do I point this? Down there. There we go. All right. Okay, so we do market research and consumer insights, and we look at health, wellness, and sustainability trends. We provide custom research for clients to tackle particular issues and problems and challenges that you're looking at. We do multi-client studies. We have a very large multi-client study. I'll be going to field in March. If you're interested, let me know. I'll talk to you more about that. And we also provide a lot of subject expertise to consumer packaged goods manufacturers, to retailers, their ingredient technology suppliers, and partners. As part of the annual trend survey, we do interview shoppers at specific retail stores. So we can compare shoppers at Wal-Mart to shoppers at Costco, Publix versus Safeway, and try and get a real better understanding of what that particular marketplace is looking for. As I mentioned, it's a nationally projectable study. It is not just primary grocery shoppers, by the way. It is, as Steve was talking about with their study yesterday, it is tied to census. So it's about 51% women, about 49% men. Ladies, you'll be happy to know men are doing more grocery shopping these days. We really like them because when they like something, they buy 4 of them. So they're very different in terms of their shopping behaviors. This particular study is a lifestyle study. This is the data that I'm going to be showing you today. I'm not going to be showing you a lot of data as much as I am just going to be talking about sort of the top line findings. But if you are interested in particular data points and so forth, again, let me know. We can look at the research findings a lot of different ways. We can slice and dice it. We do a lot of work. One thing we haven't heard a lot about, I know Ken talked about yesterday, is the role of packaging in all of this, and I'll talk about that a little bit briefly. But today we're going to look at consumer interest and demand for clean labels through the lens of where people shop. And surprisingly, there are some very big differences. Now, we included 33 different retail grocery chains, big box, what we would call the grocery chains like Publix and Safeway and so forth, as well as natural chains like Trader Joe's and Whole Foods in the study. And big box shoppers, no surprise, more than 2 out of 3 shoppers are now going to the big box stores on a fairly regular basis. But they're also shopping at the regular grocery chains and the natural chains. And by the way, they're also shopping online more often these days. What we've seen is that growth in the private label brands is clearly outpacing the national brands. 9 in 10 shoppers today are buying private label brands. A lot of them experimented with them for the first time when we got into sort of hard economic times, and they found that the products were actually meeting or sometimes even exceeding their expectations with respect to what they were getting. And what we're seeing is that the store brands, where they used to be sort of a generic version of a national brand, they're no longer doing that. They stand for something in and of themselves, and stores want that to represent what they want their store brand to be about in the mind of the shopper. They're setting a new clean label performance bar for the national brands, again, because they're starting with that clean piece of paper that Leslie was talking about yesterday. They're creating innovative products and packaging that are boosting shopper loyalty, that are differentiating retailers, why I'm going to shop here versus there, and boosting profitability because it's my product. I'm not buying it from Kraft and then putting it on the shelf. Now, when we talk to consumers about what goes into their decision about where they're going to shop, it's no surprise, given the economics today, that affordability is at the top of the list. We all have only so much money in our pocket to feed our families every day. And so affordability is a very real and very meaningful issue for consumers. Trust, which is a very big part of this clean label issue. And while we might think alkalized cocoa and Ben & Jerry's isn't such a big deal, it was the trust that was hurt in terms of the mind of the consumer because they felt that they were deceived a little bit in some way. When they learned that it contained GMO soy, it was the trust that was hurt with respect to the brand. And so we've seen that trustworthiness, doing things that doing what they really say they do and so forth, not misleading me in any way, not putting it into the fine print, and we'll see that in some of these products shortly. And the third is making it easy for me to make healthy choices. 65% say that is a very important criteria for them in choosing where to shop. We see selection of locally produced products and selection of natural products for about 55% of consumers. And then we see things like environmentally friendly, socially responsible, a good selection of organic products. So these are things that consumers are thinking about when they're thinking about where they're going to do their grocery shopping this week. And when we look at that bar in terms of offering a wide selection of natural products, on the green you can see this is the number of shoppers at Whole Foods, for example. 80% say a wide selection of natural products is extremely or very important to them, versus that 55% for grocery shoppers overall. And 82% are saying that Whole Foods Market is delivering on that for them. We see much bigger gap when we get to Target, even though natural choices are very important to Target shoppers. Target is not perhaps doing as good a job of communicating or delivering or making it easy for consumers to find those products on their shelves, although they've taken some steps recently that we expect are going to really change those numbers. Costco, Wegmans, Sam's Club, you see a lot of consumers are looking for that easier, wide selection of natural products, but there's often a gap between what the store is doing for them and where consumers see the importance being. Now, when we talk to Target shoppers, and I did bring some products, and these are the products that Claudia was talking about in terms of you being able to take home with you later today or tomorrow. Let me just find them in here. Target has the Simply Balanced line, which you see up here. Now, when we look at the Target shoppers, and we look at what are their priorities with respect to clean labels, no artificial ingredients is at the top of the list for Target shoppers. They also have much higher concerns than other shoppers about the safety of GMOs. Now, the Target Simply Balanced brand excludes 105 common food additive ingredients. You can go to their website and they will all be listed there for the shopper. The vast majority of the products are made without GMOs, and they intend to eliminate all GMOs by the end of 2014. The line has more than 250 products free of artificial flavors, colors, preservatives, high fructose corn syrup, trans fats, and they say that they are mindful of sodium. 40% of the products in the line today are organic, and they are moving further in that direction. Target says that they're trying to give guests more of the simple, recognizable ingredients they know and want, and very importantly, a food label they can understand. So when we look at this particular product, it's labeled made with natural ingredients. It lets you know it has 20 grams of whole grain per serving. And when we go to the back, it says our simple promise. The Simply Balanced Goodness Guarantee means more than great tasting food. It means taking the guesswork out of eating well. It means food labels with ingredients you can actually read, and our promise that you made a great choice. Now, I don't know if they really meant this or not on this you can actually read, but it's one of the few labels I don't have to take my glasses off to be able to read. They have put things in a very nice kind of a format that way. So the Simply Balanced line from Target is one that I think is really responding very well to their particular shoppers' concerns with respect to offering organic, i.e. non-GMO, as well as products that don't contain what would be considered artificial ingredients. When we go to Walmart, however, we're finding that the Walmart shoppers are putting a higher priority on healthy choices versus natural choices. So it makes a lot of sense that the great value products emphasize the lower sodium, the fat, and sugar, alerts them to potential allergens, more than it's talking about, oh, we don't contain preservatives or we don't contain artificial flavors or anything of that sort. For those of you who aren't familiar, I'm sure you are, with the Great Value products, this is their applesauce. 3 ingredients: apples, water, ascorbic acid, parentheses, vitamin C. On a lot of the clean label type products, you will see asterisks on the ingredient legend. You will see references to try to explain why the ingredient is in the product. Again, helping to make it simpler and easier for the consumer to understand what has been put into that food or beverage and why. This is the Great Value No Stir Creamy Natural Peanut Butter Spread. I'm going to guess, Tony, it has to be called spread because it's not the way we have conventionally met the standard of identity for peanut butter. It's roasted peanuts, sugar, palm oil, and salt. Now we're seeing a lot of palm oil in products today, replacing the trans fats that were in the products previously. We're going to see a lot more, I think, innovation of ingredients, and looking for new ingredients that are going to, new natural ingredients that can perform some of the roles that some of the conventional ingredients that we've been using in the past. I'd also mention that I think I would agree with what some of the other speakers were talking about in terms of we need to rethink perhaps how we're processing foods. And just to give you one example from my past, many, many years ago, probably about 25, 30 years ago, I was working with a gentleman, a food scientist at General Foods called Tom Finucane. And Tom held the patent for Cool Whip, so we called him Mr. Cool Whip. And Tom left General Foods, and he started working on a project with me for a natural foods company called Erewhon. Some of you may be familiar with it. Nowhere spelled backwards. And they wanted to introduce a honey-sweetened peanut butter. And Tom was, oh, great, I know just how to do this. We're going to use this particular emulsifier, and we're going to get the honey to work in so it won't separate on the shelf. And I said, Tom, you can't do that. This has to be an all-natural product because of what this particular brand stands for. So Tom put on his food scientist hat, and he figured out that within a very narrow temperature range, if he blended the honey and the peanut butter together, it wouldn't separate later. And so we learned that by looking at it from a different angle, let's not try to find an emulsifier substitute, but maybe we can find another way to process the product that would eliminate the need for that emulsifier. So I think we're going to have to look at this. Again, I've been around a long time. I remember when cereal companies told us, we can't make the cereal without BHA and BHT. Well, with enough consumer pressure, they figured it out. They told us we can't make chocolate and all the foods you love without trans fats. Well, now that they have to, they figured it out. I believe food scientists can meet just about any challenge that we present to them, but you've got to start thinking outside of the box a little bit. So, Wal-Mart pledges to reduce sodium by 25%, eliminate added trans fats, and reduce added sugars by 10% by 2015, and to make healthier choices more affordable by dropping prices on fruits and vegetables. They're also planning to develop criteria and a seal that will go on truly healthier foods as measured by sodium, fat, and sugar content. Now, this is very appropriate when we look at the concerns and interests of people when they are going in and shopping at a Walmart. Now, Costco shoppers are significantly more likely than Walmart shoppers to be looking for clean labels. And while they have room for improvement on their selection of natural and organic products, they are scoring very, very highly with shoppers on value and trust. They have the Kirkland brand. The Kirkland solid white, it's Kirkland's signature, I'm sorry, solid white albacore packed in water, superior quality tuna, dolphin safe. Excuse me. This is their Kirkland real sliced fruit, Fuji apple slices with cinnamon, a freeze-dried snack. This particular product is freeze-dried Fuji apples, so they are actually naming what kind of apple it is, cinnamon, citric acid, and they go on to let you know that the apples were grown in the USA. You will see on many of these different labels that they identify the source of the fruit, where the country came from, or the vegetable. Again, that's part of sort of consumers helping to understand and to know what has gone into the food that they are buying and serving to their family. The Kirkland brand serves as a customer agenda for Costco. It provides a level of brand confidence that was previously only found in the top-tier name brand products. I don't know how many of you shop at Costco. I have never had one real near me. My parents love Costco. They have a very high sense of trust and quality in the products that they buy there. Kirkland brand products include no sugar added fruit products, the dolphin safe tuna I talked about, as well as a variety of organic selections. Now, Kroger, over at Kroger, their shoppers are putting the highest clean label priorities on no preservatives and no artificial ingredients. And Kroger is meeting their expectations. Let me make a little room here. All right, well, they're quote unquote an uncomplicated, trustworthy solution. Again, there's that word trust again that we're getting in here for shoppers looking for natural and organic products. Now, these products can be found throughout the store at Kroger. They're in virtually every aisle. I should note that a lot of these private label products started in the perishables. They introduced first the meats, the dairy, refrigerated juices, those types of products. Then they moved into more of the non-perishable section of the store with respect to cereals, snacks, mixes and rices and things of that sort. Kroger, chairman recently told folks at an investment interview that these are the fastest growing brands in their stores. These brands are accounting for almost 25% of store revenues at some of these stores today. If you're a craft or a CPG manufacturer, you better wake up and look at what's going on. Now, Safeway shoppers have very high concerns about the safety of hormones and antibiotics in foods. So interestingly, when we look at the different shoppers, we're seeing some different priorities in terms of what they're looking for. They have more moderate concerns about preservatives and artificial ingredients. Doesn't it make sense then that Safeway's Lucerne brand of dairy products are all labeled as being treated as being RBST free, not treated with growth hormone. And this is their butter. You can see the label on there. You can see it on the cheese on the slide. They've got cream cheese, sour cream, cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, all contain the RBST-free labeling. Again, very, very well targeted to their particular shopper. Safeway also has a private label brand called Open Nature. It has more than 130 products made with natural ingredients. You can see here, Open Nature, 100% natural, raised without antibiotics, no added hormones, all vegetarian fed, no artificial ingredients, minimally processed. Again, this line started with their meat and dairy products, but it is now expanded throughout the store. And then to address the organic interests of some of their shoppers, they've also introduced O Organics, which is a USDA certified organic line, grown and produced also in environmentally friendly ways. Now, one of the things that you'll see with some of these other private label products I'm going to show you in a minute is that they are starting to marry clean and sustainable together. Because one of the things that we hear a lot from consumers is, you talk to me about how this product is natural. You talk to me about how this product is good for me, clean, healthy. But the packaging is inconsistent with that message. So if I have an organic, clean soup, and I'm putting it in a package that is not recyclable, or I'm putting it in a bag or a box inside a wrapper, and consumers are seeing a disconnect there. So you need to really think, too, not just about the ingredients and the processing, but is the packaging consistent with what the consumer is expecting with respect to the contents? A&P, they're looking for that green and clean, more so than we've seen from other shoppers. A&P's responded with the Greenway line of products that are natural, organic, and sustainable earth friendly. They promote as being priced at an everyday value. They have more than 150 items in the line now: cereals, crackers, sauces, dips, juices, batteries, window cleaner, laundry detergent. Virtually every single category of the store is represented with Greenway today. Where possible, A&P is incorporating sustainability features to the Greenway products and packaging and calling it out quite visibly on the package. Now, Publix shoppers, I've been living in Florida for the last 10 years, so Publix has been my market. I recently moved to Pennsylvania last week, so now Wegmans will be my market. Publix shoppers put a much higher priority on clean labels than most of the other retail chain shoppers. And shoppers are giving Publix very high credit for their organic and natural products and for making it easier for them to find and identify and purchase these products in their store. Greenwise has 3 categories of products. They have organic items that are raised without added growth hormones or synthetic antibiotics, steroids, pesticides, or fertilizers, and are all natural with no GMOs. They're all natural items, are minimally processed, have no artificial colors, flavors, preservatives, or sweeteners. And their earth-friendly products are produced in such a way as to minimize any negative impact on the environment. The GreenWise brand, here, nice sort of old country kind of labeling, very familiar, trustworthy, all of that, has been so successful that Publix has now opened GreenWise markets. And these are stores that are dedicated to only providing products that meet this natural and organic criteria. It's not just their own private label brand. You can find Annie's and a whole bunch of other products and brands in those stores. But I believe they have 3 stores now open in Florida that are GreenWise markets. So if you're a retailer thinking about what's going on in terms of new stores and new activities, we may be seeing some of these private label products actually move into retail brands themselves. This is an organic maple brown sugar instant oatmeal that is low-fat and cholesterol-free food with 0 grams of trans fat per serving and heart healthy. See back panel for more information. We get to the product. It has 4 ingredients: organic whole grain rolled oats, organic sugar, salt, and those natural flavors that Tony was talking about. They promote the fact that it's no artificial colors or flavors or preservatives, again, on the back of the package. So GreenWise has been very successful for Publix, and we expect to see them putting a lot more effort into this particular line. Being from in that area, we have talked with a lot of consumers who buy these products. They actually tell us that they not only meet their expectations in terms of what they get from the national brands, they are often exceeding those expectations in terms of taste, performance, and value. Wegmans, my new market, I'm going to be getting to know, and actually a long-term client of mine. Wegmans shoppers are looking for natural ingredients, organic choices, and GMO-free products. Wegmans introduced the Food You Feel Good About line. I will tell you, so that we have all transparency, I worked on the development of this line for them. They were the first to introduce a private label store brand of better for you brands. And this was introduced way back in 1992. Continues to do very well for them. The products are free from artificial colors, flavors, and preservatives, trans fats from partially hydrogenated oils, and no high fructose corn syrup. The fresh meats that come under the brand are from animals that haven't been given antibiotics or hormones or fed animal byproducts. And the packaging for all the products bears a graphic label that makes it easy for shoppers to spot the foods that are simply better and that are right for them and for their families. And you can see on the package there, they have that little, where the gluten-free call out is. It'll also tell you if it has any allergens, if it's vegan, if it's low fat, if it's high fiber. And so very nice little graphic label. And they also use shelf talkers in the stores to help you locate and identify those foods. Now, it's no surprise that Whole Foods Market shoppers put the highest priority of all shoppers on clean labels, no matter what other retail store that we are looking at. They have the 365 Everyday Value brand. It has labeling for both the desirable and the undesirable ingredients and nutritional features on the package. They are also using the non-GMO Project Verified certification where it is applicable. And again, somewhat in the style of Wegmans, you can see they have a little call-out box they put on the front of the package indicating whether it's vegan, no cholesterol, no saturated fat, a good source of any particular nutrients. Again, making it very easy for consumers to identify what this product is offering to them. Now, Trader Joe's, fun place to shop, are second to Whole Food shoppers in their desire for clean labels, and they're concerned about the safety of preservatives, GMOs, and artificial ingredients. We need to give special thanks to Claudia and Peter Haven for getting you the reduced guilt brownie-free mix, fat-free mix. These are delicious. They use yogurt instead of eggs to maintain the moistness of the product. Consumers love them. Trader Joe's is getting an excellent reputation for consumers that their store-branded products have exceptional flavor and quality. Whether it's their pre-prepared frozen meals, their mixes like this, consumers have an expectation of a real sort of culinary experience when they are buying the Trader Joe's products. This is Trader Joe's organic tomato and roasted red pepper soup, labeled low sodium, gluten-free, good source of vitamin A. They also talk quite a bit on the product about allergens as well. So Trader Joe's is using these graphics. They're making it a lot easier for people. They're making it fun. You can see here at the bottom, they've got no gluten, vegan, vegetarian, fat-free, quick meal, kosher, and sodium. The quick meal is something we hear consumers love. Again, it's about making it simple. It's not just the ingredients, but how has my preparation been simplified? My use of the product been simplified as well. So I'm not sure where we are on time here, but I'm getting to the end of my remarks. What we're seeing is that it's important to look at consumers through the lens of where they shop, or through the lens of what they're expecting from your particular brand if you are a Kraft or you are a General Mills, because their expectations are different. There is no one clean label consumer out there. You really need to understand what are the different priorities and expectations. And it can even vary from category to category. What they might expect in a cereal versus a snack might be a little bit different. And you need to understand some of those nuances in order to develop products that are ultimately going to have a long life of success with consumers. So by looking at consumers through the lens of where they shop, we can identify focus and priority areas for development and communication. We can build customer stories to take to the retailers to talk about how to bring that shopper to life with different insights and data for the retailer. Clearly, when you look at the way that they are managing their private label products, they have done their consumer homework. They understand what their consumers are looking for. For you in the ingredients sales business and so forth, we find that this information can really help you put together that go-to story to prepare sales and customer development for meetings with customers. This is new and unique information for many of these companies, and it can help you to get a bigger, broader audience, not just with the purchasing guy, but with the marketing, the R&D, and all the other people who were on Tony's little slide. I think you missed packaging on that one, by the way. We need to get packaging engaged more in this so we don't create that really, really green product and then put it into an environmentally unfriendly package. And as well, putting ammunition behind your particular ingredient or product's fit with shopper priorities. Again, there are a lot of different shoppers and a lot of different priorities out there. By understanding what those are, you can better position your message and your benefits. So I will thank you, and I would please ask you to let me know if you have any questions. As Claudia said, we will be doing a little bit of a raffle drawing for a gift basket, so to speak, of products later today. And I would be happy to talk with you about any of your research needs as well.